like fun to you? This is what we call a bluegrass jam. And you could join us too on Play Along with Taborgrass. Why don't you join us? Come on. Pinto, why don't you join us too? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 8. Play along with Taborgrass. Hello and welcome to Play Along with Taborgrass. My name is Greg Stone, and each week we'll be learning a new bluegrass song on each of these instruments. I have the guitar here. Steve over here has the fiddle. We have Linda on the mandolin here. And we have Elliot on the banjo. And keeping us in time and on time is Dee on the bass. And at this time I'd like to introduce the Taborgrassers in the studio. Hi, Taborgrassers. Okay, today's tune is going to be Boil Them Cabbage Down. And for you folks at home, you can download the music to Boil Them Cabbage Down on taborgrass.com. So just go to taborgrass.com, go to the scores and tutorials and download the music so you have the music in front of you. We're going to start out by playing the backup because really it's the most important thing is a good backup. So that means the chords. We're going to be playing the chords. So let's start out with that. Well, actually, let's start out with playing the tune up to speed, okay? So you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Or is everybody ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's great. So that's how the tune goes. So let's just concentrate on the backup right now. Look at your chord progression on your music at home, and we're going to just play the backup as, Steve, can you give us the melody while the rest of us play the backup, and that would be great. So the thing about the backup is the guitars follow the bass. So we have a single note and a strum, and then another single note and a strum. The single note, the first single note should be the root of the chord. So in other words, I'm playing an A chord right here because I'm capoed twice, so don't get confused. It's actually a G shape, but it's the A chord like we talked about in the music. So I'm playing an A chord, so I must hit that root note first. Then a strum, then an alternate note, then the root note. So each measure is 4 beats, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes like that. Now, for all the other instruments, we come in on the 2 and the 4. We just chop on the 2 and 4. So let's have all the other instruments chop on that 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how it goes. That's we swing. So I do one thing, all the other instruments doing something else. Now we're going to bring the bass in on the 1 and 3, and I'm going to give a 4 count, and we're going to play the backup to Boil Them Cabbage Down. Okay, right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's divided measure there. B part. Nice, nice. So that was good. And we say that on the 2s and 4s, all the other instruments just give a little strum. We call that a chop. So it's not a strum that's open, you know. Linda, can you show us, like a chop is staccato. It's really short. Yes, as opposed to ringing, as opposed to just ringing a chord. Like, you don't want to really do that on your chop. You want to just like that, and it keeps everything cleaner, keeps everybody out of each other's way. Okay, so let's start now with the guitar, and let's focus on that. So the first thing I want to do is let's take a look at the sheet music for the guitar, and then I'll do a demonstration. Okay, here's the guitar part for Boil 'em Cabbage Down. We've got the music. First of all, we've got the A part in front of us right now, the first 2 lines of music. First thing I want to talk about is that we are in the key of A here, right? But then it can be confusing because we see a G chord, right? But right after the key of A is capo 2, right? Which means we put the capo on the 2nd fret, and that turns that G into an A because we're going to play that G shape, that G chord, way up here on the guitar. Now it turns it into an A, right? So don't be confused by A and G and all of that kind of thing. Second thing I want to point out is we're in 4/4 time. The first 4 is 4 beats to the measure, which these are, you know, all these are measures here. Second one is that the quarter note gets the beat. So that's 4 quarter notes per measure. So if we want to look at our notes here, we start out with a quarter note, which is 1 beat. The next one is a divided quarter note, or 2/8 notes. So it goes like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So that's the beat of the music right there. And also I want you to notice that down, pay attention to the repeat signs down on the bottom of the A part, the 2 lines, meaning we repeat the A. So typically we do 2 A's and 2 B's in a piece of music. So let's go to the B part now and take a look at that. All right, now we have the B part. And I want to also point out that we've got a different value in our notes. We have half notes now because we only have 2 notes for the measure. So you count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little different count. And then you get to the quarter notes, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 for your quarter notes. And again, pay attention to your repeat sign. It means you play the B part twice. So let's go to our demonstration. Okay, now for the demonstration. We go nice and slow through that. Everybody else is going to back me up, please, in the studio. And I'm just going to play very slow the demonstration while we have a close-up now on the guitar. Okay, so again, we're capo 2. And this is how the melody goes. We start on the 2nd string, okay? Now here's another thing that's very important. Remember, all your 8th notes are down up. For you guitar players and you mandolin players, all the 8th notes are down up, on your pick direction, and you're holding your pick. This is just a flat pick class. This is bluegrass. We use a flat pick, folks. We don't use our fingers. We just use a flat pick for those mandolins and guitars. So remember that. Bluegrass, not finger picking. Okay, all right. So we're going to go down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, so all the quarter notes, half notes, whole notes are all down stroke. And all your eighth notes, the only time you go up is on an eighth note. It's a down, up. Okay, so that's important. So if everybody can follow me here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, that's a demonstration on the guitar. So now we want to go to the fiddle. Let's do the fiddle next and the mandolin. And first, we want to look at the music. Now we have Boyle and Cabbage down for fiddle and mandolin, and we have the A part here. First thing I want to point out is that we are in the key of A. There are no capos in the title there because fiddle and mandolin don't need capos. In fact, it would kind of be embarrassing to see a capo on a fiddle or a mandolin. Okay, so we're just in the key of A. They have plenty of open strings to play in any key, so they don't need capos like us guitar players. Okay, the second thing I want to say, so we are in the key of A, so we look out over here and we see 3 sharps. That means we're in the key of A for the written music. Why do I have written music and tablature too? Because the written music is for the fiddle, and we see some marks up here. This is a down bow. Here's an up bow. And we see our music for the fiddle because they don't have frets, right? Have you ever seen frets on a fiddle? No. So they have to read music. We do have frets on the mandolin, so that's why I have tablature for the mandolin. Isn't that convenient? So we cover both instruments. They're both tuned the same way, so we can just do this all at the same time. Again, your values, remember, we have a quarter note, you have 2 eighth notes, and you have another 2 eighth notes here, a quarter note here. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for the timing. Notice down here too we have a couple of half notes. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how that's counted out. And we have repeat signs, of course, at the end of the music, meaning that we repeat the A part, which is typical of fiddle tunes. You do 2 A's and you do 2 B's. Well, let's take a look at the B part now. Okay, now we have the B part. We have, you can see, half notes to start the B part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 4 quarter notes, 4 beats for the measure, right? 4 quarter notes at the end. 1 and 2 and, no, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Good. And remember your repeat signs at the end. We play the B part twice as well. Okay, now let's go to our demonstration. Now for our demonstration on the fiddle and the mandolin, we're going to start with the fiddle, with Steve on the fiddle. Steve, are you ready?
I'm ready.
And Linda, are you ready to go right after? We're going to do both demonstrations right now, and the rest of us are going to play the backup. So here we go, demonstrations on the fiddle and the mandolin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. That was nice, you guys. So now it's time for the banjo, Elliot. And we're going to start also with the sheet music for the banjo. So let's go there first and look at the sheet music, and then we'll continue with our demonstration of the banjo. Okay, now we have Boyle and Cabbage down for the banjo in front of us. We have the A part. Again, we go back to capo 2, right? Because the banjos, like the guitars, like to play out of the key of G. There's plenty of open strings that way. So they capo to the 2nd fret, again, like the guitars. So don't get confused again that we see this G over here. It's actually, we're in the key of A, but we're playing a G chord, right? And the banjos are on with their capos on, all right? Also, 4/4 time, 4 quarter notes to the measure, and the quarter note, or 4 beats to the measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. Here we see an example of note pinch. Note pinch. Remember that we have on our website at taborgrass.com, we have picking exercises for the banjo. So when I call out these terms, you download picking exercises and you'll know what I'm talking about. This is note pinch, note pinch. And then over here, we have some more of the same, note pinch all the way through. And I don't think anything more tricky about that, except, of course, we play 2 A's like all the other pieces. So you see our repeat signs down here, the 2 little dots. That means we play the A part twice, and now we're ready for our B part. Okay, here's the B part. Now we have a forward roll, or we have our first forward roll. This is a forward roll right here. These 4 notes, these 4 eighth notes to start out, called a forward roll. So we get to practice that a little bit, and then we also have some note pinch down here, and then repeat it again. So we repeat the B part as well. So now let's go for our demonstration. Now it's time for our demonstration on the banjo. And Elliot here on the banjo, are you ready for the demonstration?
Ready.
We're going to do Boyle and Cabbage down demonstrated on the banjo, and then we're going to play all skate right after that. So banjo players play right along with Elliot, and all the rest of you, we're just going to do an all skate, which means all skate. Remember from the skating rinks, that means we all play the melody at the same time, and Dee and I will back you up. We'll all play the melody at the same time. We'll go through a few times. Okay, are you ready, Elliot? Well, let's do the demonstration first for the banjo, and then it'll be all skate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Play Along with Taborgrass. Next week we'll be learning You Are My Sunshine, so stay tuned for that and download your music, remember, from taborgrass.com. Let's play that Boil 'em Cabbage down, and we'll see you next week.